All right, let's talk politics. It's not you, it's Biden. Yep, Politico coming out with an article headlined, "Why Democrats Think Biden's Problem is Biden." In it, one strategist says, quote, "Democrats are enthusiastic about trying to win the Senate and trying to win the House, and they're not enthusiastic about Joe Biden's reelection, period." Here with reaction is Fox News contributor and former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Newt, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We've seen this before where the down ballot people are actually more popular than the people at the top of the ticket because there's not a lot to be enthused about, right?
Sure. I mean, in 1948, Truman actually was reelected in part because 6 Democratic Senate candidates ran about 100,000 votes ahead in their states, and they literally gave him a coattail rather than him giving them a coattail. We've seen this before. And in Biden's case, I think he's got 3 very different problems. One, which you were just talking about in terms of illegal immigration, is he has policies that aren't working. People don't want to have Biden's illegal immigrants raping and killing Americans. People don't want to have going to the grocery store and not being able to afford anything. They look again and again, and the Biden program just doesn't work. Second, he appoints people who have weird values, and you get into all sorts of arguments over things like, you know, third grade kids with transgenderism or males competing in women's sports, et cetera. And then third, if you watch him over time, he clearly has huge cognitive problems. The White House can spin it any way they want to, but when you look at case after case, whether it's the Italian prime minister bringing him back into the group, or it is President Obama helping him get off stage, or it's Biden just standing at the Juneteenth festival at the White House and literally looking catatonic. I mean, just frozen for about a minute. And I think particularly for younger Americans, it's like they're looking not at their grandfather, they're looking at their great-grandfather, and they're saying, gee, can he really be president?
Right. Great point. Let's talk a little bit about Marist did some polling over the last week or two regarding different state races. And as you look right here, screen left is the state of Ohio. The current senator, a Democrat, Sherrod Brown, is 5 points over his Republican challenger, but Trump is 7 points over Biden. In the middle, in Pennsylvania, the current senator, Bob Casey, is 6 points over his challenger. Meanwhile, Joe is trailing Trump by 2. And in Wisconsin, the current Democrat Senator, Tammy Baldwin, is 9 points over her Republican counterpart. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is only 2 ahead of Trump, as you can see right there. You know, so much is on the line regarding the debate on next Thursday night. If Joe Biden has a bad night and he does one of that freeze act like that you just alluded to, is his goose cooked?
Well, look, this is a debate. This is like arguing over the Christmas decorations in June. I mean, this debate is so early, anybody could recover from anything. The problem for Biden is that he has a huge uphill climb. The morning after this debate, Americans are going to go back to the grocery store. They're going to be reminded how expensive everything is. Within 2 or 3 days of the debate, some illegal migrant's going to commit a crime that makes national news. You go down the list. So Biden's problem is, can he do so well in the debate that he offsets reality? Trump's problem is totally different. All Trump has to do is be calm. Maybe ask Biden some questions like, did you really know Vladimir Putin when he was a lieutenant colonel in the KGB in East Germany, which Biden claimed he did? Or do you really believe your uncle was eaten by cannibals? I mean, Biden is so open if my advice to Trump would be, deal with Biden with humor, not with anger, because Biden is pathetic. And it's, I think and he's so dishonest that you can't take him seriously. And I just have to say, Joe, Did you realize you were lying about China and the last time we debated? Did you realize you were lying about Hunter's laptop the last time we debated? But I'd use my time, if I were Trump, asking Biden questions and getting Biden rolling.
Well, given what a number of people have said over the last couple of weeks, you know, the bar is very low for Joe Biden. I think if he simply does not fall asleep on the stage, people are going to say, hey, that's a win.
Well, look, you know, the New York Times and Washington Post have already written the headline. Joe Biden does magnificently better than expected. That's sitting in the can. No matter how he does, they're going to run with that headline. And, you know, CNN, which, by the way, it'll be a 4-to-1 debate. Everybody on that stage will be opposed to Trump. So he's not just debating Biden. He's debating all the people from CNN.
Newt, thank you very much for your point of view. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.